It's episode 26. Are you guys impressed that I remembered that?
That it was episode 26.
This is the first time you've remembered that, I think.
It's because it's been less time in between episodes than usual.
True.
By like
48
day. Hours. Yeah, like one day.
That's the capacity I have to retain like useless memories.
Useless? Come on, man. We're approaching our year anniversary.
Do we even know like what day that would actually be?
I have no idea. I guess we'll just look at when we uploaded the first one and subtract a week from that.
Didn't you guys take the first episode down because it was absolute shit, or is it still up there?
I hope not, because that's like
that was like over Discord and stuff. Wasn't
it?
Yeah,
it was over Discord.
No, yeah, and we like used Skype or whatever to like actually see each other.
Yeah.
That was weird.
Back when we were fucking idiots.
We still
are. I know.
But now we're idiots with better equipment, but slightly better.
We got a mixer. I never thought I would ever do anything with a mixer ever. I know you're already into music, Sirius, so that's a normal thing for you. But
yeah, we got mixers, we got microphones, right? First and foremost.
stands.
Yeah,
two stands, and I know what you're thinking. There's 3 people on this podcast. Well, you'd be right. We're using a paper towel roll.
Oh yeah, we've come up with
a little peek behind the curtains here.
I drilled a hole in a tissue box for one of the episodes, and we put the mic in the tissue box.
Works fantastically.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I don't know why you would ever pay for a mic stand.
It doesn't make sense.
And we also upgraded to a bar, so that's pretty cool. We built a bar for the podcast.
Yeah, we actually take shots every time, like the entire podcast.
Yeah.
We're just
I need a shot right now.
Hell yeah.
Listen to this shit.
What time is it? All right, Sirius.
Probably around 12:56.
Sirius is our resident old man. Sirius, what do you want to talk about? What you been doing this week?
I've been working a lot, so I haven't had time to play like single player games to finish Okami basically. But I've been playing Pokemon Showdown, dude.
I mean, that's a good one.
And it's so fucking good.
I see that. I mean, I see in this room there's N64, so apparently this came out on N64.
No.
Pokemon Showdown's the online thing.
Yeah.
What is it?
So, did you play Pokemon Stadium?
Yeah, vaguely.
You get the idea that you can. So you don't like catch Pokemon. You just like do the battle. You pick 6 Pokemon out of the whole thing.
Turn-based combat. All
Pokemon
that
Showdown. Well, Pokemon just has turn.
But it's online.
Yeah, Showdown is on the internet.
It's like it's illegal technically.
Yeah, it's like not officially made by Nintendo.
So is it like, do you just download a client from them, or
you can play through the browser.
Okay, I didn't know if it was a weird thing where they like tacked it onto Pokemon Stadium and you have to like download the ROM or whatever. That's what you do for the Mario Mario stuff.
There's online Mario stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, the 64 shit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you actually get the ROM and everything. So
it's a mod for the ROM. So you have to get the ROM.
Is it 3D or 2D?
What do you mean 3D, 2D?
Like, is it polygonal or is it sprites?
Polygonal now.
Okay.
It looks like the newest Pokemon.
Yeah, so it'll just take the graphics from like the newest Pokemon, and that'll be like the new battle. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
He's nodding his head. So.
Except for the attacks are different because the attacks are like in Flash, I think, because they like don't want to take that much time. It'd be really hard to like make the whole battle that way. It's just like the Pokemon that like it's what's that called? Idle animation.
So you just battle, grind, level up.
Yeah, there's like a ladder. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's all the like. This is made by what's like it's called Smogon, which is like I guess you can call it like the official, not the official, but it's like the most popular like Pokemon battling system. Like they make official tier lists, and the tier lists are not just like which Pokemon are good. There's like people like vote on like which Pokemon are too good, so like they kick them out. So there's like tiers of Pokemon that you play in. And there's like Ubers at the top, and then OU, which stands for overused, because it's like the most commonly used Pokemon. And then like underused, rarely used, never used, all the way down.
Is there a gamepad support on the client or no?
No, but you wouldn't need it. Like you do battles.
Sure, I just didn't know if you wanted to like play it on a TV or whatever.
I mean, I'm sure if you use like a Steam controller, you can get to it.
You can do it with a Steam controller.
Okay, I was just wondering.
But at that point,
this sounds interesting. I like to check it out.
Has your recent gaming sessions all been like on the TV with a controller?
I just like having the option. They really haven't been. But if there is if there is support for gamepad, then I generally run it to the TV and play on the couch. So my preferred way of playing No Man's Sky throughout this week, which I'll talk about later, has been on the couch with a gamepad.
Okay.
Just because I find that to be more comfortable for longer sessions.
It is, yeah.
even with the DX Racer, which turned out good.
Yeah. Yo, let's give a little update on the DX Racer situation.
Kind of went in a funny way. So originally, as I explained last week, my girlfriend ordered one. She got it. She loved it. I looked at it with envy and lust in my eyes, and I said I must have one too. And then we ordered one for me, and then it arrived. I put it together. I sat in it, and so when you're looking at DX Racer chairs, it's not just height and weight that matters. It's like you need to measure your waist and your shoulders, or you end up in a situation like I did where the chair is like had a very thin back, like in terms of the width of the back of the chair, and it also had these wings that kind of like came forward, and when I sat in it, the wings like dug into my back. If I put the pillow between the wings, then it was fine, but still wasn't ideal. Anyway,
Just really quick, when you put the what or the where?
The what?
What did you just say?
The pillow between the wings.
Pillow between the wings.
The pillow.
The
The pillow.
Oh my god, we're not doing this right now.
Just really quick. Just
Look, I
say it.
mispronounced pillow. This is not
No,
like
just-
a
okay,
revelation.
that's all-
All right, we're good.
Okay,
We're
yeah,
good.
we can keep going.
We're good.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, just real quick. What do we?
Do we
pricing
need
between the
how?
wings?
Huh? All right, continue.
No, go ahead. You were telling a story about DX Racers.
Okay. Anyway, you put the lumbar support
There it is.
between the wings.
Yeah.
There we go. I'm gonna wiggle out of that, and it was comfortable. Anyway, my girlfriend sat in the chair and she loved it and it was more comfortable, so we traded chairs. And I'm using the one she originally ordered, and it's comfortable as fuck. And she's using the one I ordered. The one I ordered is red. Hers is blue. She prefers blue. Anyway, doesn't matter. Comfy chairs.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, with Pokemon Showdown series, is it just like, is there actually a ranked ladder? Because I guess I was under the impression it was just like, you're just playing to play.
No, me and Scotty are just playing to play, but there's a ranked ladder. It's way harder than what me and Scotty are doing.
That's interesting.
Is it?
That's kinda
How much player skill is involved in this?
Hey, dude, listen, don't talk to him about it. It's a sore subject. I've already approached this off
It takes
pod.
a whole lot of skill.
Okay.
If it didn't take a lot of skill, then you could just randomly luck your way up to like a decent point in the
That's
ladder.
not necessarily true. It just
I mean,
means
Okay.
you can have an easier time to randomly luck yourself all the way up to the
My
top.
gut
It's like
assumption
Hearthstone.
would be you can grind your way to the top, but is it not like that? I mean, I
You don't
know
train
anything.
the Pokemon. You just pick them. They're already level 100, and you pick the moves.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just
like-
like it's a battle simulator.
Yeah,
like
like-
Okay.
it's just the battles.
You
That's
got
it.
the perfect stats.
So do you know what Pokemon your opponents are going to use in advance?
Well, no. When you start a battle, you can see their 6 Pokemon, and they can see your 6 Pokemon, and then you choose like the ones that you send out first.
Okay.
But you can't see before that.
Okay, so you see their 6, and then you choose the order based on what you're seeing. I'm just trying.
Yeah.
I'm trying to understand where the
Yeah, you
players
see the
go.
order. So like, so you see you have to know a lot about the game. You have to know like every type that every Pokemon is, and like pretty much what all their abilities are.
Oh,
and
it doesn't just like tell you what type.
No,
they are?
you have
Okay.
to know that.
Okay.
Yeah. So you have to know what type they are, what abilities they have, what moves they're most likely to use.
So it's a battle of knowledge, essentially.
Yeah, what
Yeah.
kind of stats they have. If
That's
they have
cool.
like high special defense or high regular defense, or they don't have either of those, they're just like a really fast attacker.
And
you
this
know?
is free, right?
Yeah, it's free.
I'm gonna try this.
You can play it on your phone actually too.
That's tight.
You just can't download it on the Google Store. You have to go to the website and download the APK.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah.
Damn, Androids are the best.
Yeah.
Fucking
Android is the. I mean, Android. Yeah, sure.
We'll get to it a little later in the show, but RuneScape Mobile is only on Android.
Yeah.
It's probably just easier to code for.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Android Studio is a fucking nightmare when I used it, but
bet.
I also haven't developed for iOS, so maybe it's just as bad. All I can say is developing for Android is compared to developing for Windows is garbage.
I bet it's because it's like a newer thing though, right?
I guess I don't know what the reasons are behind it. I just know even just designing the simple application I was designing, it was a fucking headache. That's my personal experience, and maybe I just ran with anything with like development. Like every developer is going to face different roadblocks, and maybe I just with what I was trying to do, Android Studio didn't like it.
Fair enough.
I just had bad experience with it.
I think also, like in America, it's maybe closer to like a 50-50 split, but I think worldwide Android has a much bigger user base. So if
believe
they
that's
took a
true.
game like RuneScape and they want to get like South American and
Yeah,
European
everybody.
and people playing, like that's gonna have way more people on Android than iPhone.
That's fair. interesting because, you know, you only see here.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, iPhone's popular everywhere.
Yeah, because it's like you forget, like, when you look at, like, best-selling games of all time, and then, like, every year it's, like, FIFA and Pro Evo, and you're just like, damn, I always forget that, like, the whole world,
Yeah.
like, everybody buys that game.
Yeah.
Like,
Damn,
Yeah.
they're never gonna not make that game. Then it's weird that that's probably like way more successful than Call of Duty, but Call of Duty's still like the go-to. Wow, the game's like was successful and now it's just a cash grab kind of shit. But FIFA's probably around the same.
Yeah, I would. I haven't looked it up, but I do wonder if there's any like specifically on like Call of Duty versus other big releases, like where it stands now. Specifically, like World War II, because that was supposed to be their like kind of surprise return to form. So I just wonder how it did compared to like.
I think it probably did, like, similarly well.
We have
I just don't know.
some COD friends who every new COD they get extremely hyped for, and then every new COD it's awful.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I don't know if it's the player base or the games actually suck.
I think.
What?
I mean, based off my like impression of it and from playing it here and there, is just that it's the same. It's not that like it sucks or whatever. I don't know if it's ever truly sucked. It just hasn't evolved in any interesting way. And it did slightly with Advanced Warfare, and Advanced Warfare got a lot of really good feedback.
I thought AW was like a horrible one.
People, maybe hardcore COD fans, did not enjoy Advanced Warfare, but critically, Advanced Warfare got reviewed very well. And it got me playing COD for like a month. Just because of the movement mechanics, basically, the kind of like arena style, old school, like jetting around really quickly, like fast movement. That evolved it in an interesting way.
Did
and
you
then,
guys...
I didn't see anything like hard numbers, but I saw a couple of headlines just now that said that the World War II game sold twice as well as the previous Call of Duty.
That's not
Okay.
surprising, though, because the previous one was
Yeah.
Infinite Warfare, which
No
no
one
one
liked.
gave a
Yeah.
shit
Did you
about.
guys see that FPS that's like Quake mixed with Portal?
That sounds really cool.
It's called Splitgate.
Ooh.
It looks like Halo and fucking Portal mixed together, dude. It looks crazy. But you bringing up Call of Duty and all that shit just reminded me of it. But it's not out yet. It's like in early access or some shit.
There's another game that I watched a trailer for that I'm really interested in. Did you guys play Factorio at all?
never
For
played
like
it.
1 hour.
Oh, okay. They're coming out with a game that looks like a cross. It's called Satisfactory. And it's like a mix of No Man's Sky and Factorio. It's like fully 3D, like belt building. I put like 60 or 70 hours in Factorio. I really enjoyed that game.
It sounds weird, but it just felt like gross and grimy to me.
Sure, aesthetically it is gross and grimy, but it was supposed to be a throwback to like the old RTS,
Yeah.
like Age of Empires, StarCraft look. But yeah, it's supposed to be gross and grimy, and you have like disgusting fucking bug armies attacking you every 2 seconds.
It is gross.
But this is like a colorful, fully 3D first person 4-player co-op factory building game.
That's interesting.
Complete with the whole like belt system, and I got deep in Factorio, and when you get deep in that game, there's a bunch of crazy shit. You build like mainline buses where you like split off the main line to feed resources, and you have to design in that game with intent, or you won't have fun and you'll just get frustrated.
Yeah, I've heard how addicting the game can be, but like I said, I only play them for like...
Yeah.
You know.
If you ever play the game, just like follow tutorials, like online tutorials, because just doing it yourself, like you don't know enough to have enough foresight to be able to like be successful.
That's fair. All right, Matt, what you been up to this week?
No Man's Sky next.
Yeah.
For
yeah.
like a ridiculous amount of hours.
Really?
I think I played 30 to 40 since the last podcast.
It's only like, what, 40 hours in a week, right?
Yeah, that's just math, right?
All right, so that's
We had this
guy.
guy. It's 168.
Have we had this conversation on the podcast? Whatever. So No
Yeah.
Man's Sky next, what do you like about it?
What do I like about it? I guess I'll start with the pros. When I said they were rebuilt the game, I did not fully understand like the extent of how much they rebuilt it. I logged in to... I'm glad I played before it released because I got to see the changes. Like, and when I logged in after next released, everything was like totally different. Like none of the elements that existed before exist now.
There's no spaceships?
No, I meant like the resources you gather.
Okay.
You fucking shitbag.
Okay. Fair enough.
But
This
to
is
be
a PC
fair,
podcast.
my ship changed color, whatever, changed type. Anyway, everything fucking changed. Like, all the technology I had before was gone. You upgrade your ships in a totally different way now. The default view is third person, which I mentioned before. My frame rate went up about 20 FPS out of nowhere. The game, every planet looks totally different than before. It's not an oversaturated mess at all. The entire game just looks fucking different.
That's awesome.
Like, you look at it and you're like, this is what it should have been the whole time, but it looks nothing like it did before. It's every planet is really interesting. I've
just seen like articles talking about like, hey, this is actually a decent game now. And
yeah.
you know, I'm as much as I dislike No Man's Sky for releasing in the state of it that it did, I am glad that the people that bought it are now getting a game that maybe they feel is adequate to their expectations.
Yeah,
at launch.
It's much more. It's everything that I can think of that was promised for No Man's Sky originally is in the game now. I don't think anything that was promised originally is not in the game. So in terms of that perspective, it's complete.
How is it really easy to find other people? Like, are you gonna land on a planet and you're gonna be like, oh,
No.
Jim's over there?
Well, so multiplayer works like this, which I did not know last week, is you can host a game, which you do normally, like when you're just playing, and then anyone can like randomly join your game. That's never happened to me where anyone joined my game randomly. The second option when you start the game is join a game. And then through join a game, you can either join up with your friend or join a random player. It's totally just drop in, drop out multiplayer. When you join a game, you'll be in the same system as whoever you join. And then you guys can just play together from there, progress in the story. That's all completely functional. If you want random multiplayer interaction just to see people, what you don't see people yet, right now you still see orbs.
You don't see people yet?
Not if you're not playing co-op, right?
Okay, so if
you're just out in the universe, you're just going to see orbs. And if you want that experience where you do see the presence of other players, then you have to intentionally decide to go to populated areas, which is basically the Galactic Hub.
Okay, cool.
Which I explained last week, where... Continue.
How is the PvP working now?
PvP is basically like trolly and not like fantastic. You can just kind of join people's games and then decide to fuck them over or not.
I mean, is there like ship-on-ship combat?
Yeah, you can fight other players ship-to-ship combat. You can fight them on land. The only real manifestation of that, again, though, is you join a random player's game and then you can shit on them if you want to.
So it's like
or
Dark
work
Souls.
with them. Kinda, yeah.
But they would have to host it.
But everyone kind of hosts by default. Like when you start the game, you either hit host or join game. Okay. And most people just like hit host, and it just accepts the possibility that someone random can join your game. People can opt out of that entirely by going into options and then network and turning off like network play. But by default, like you're going to be hosting a game, assuming you're not intentionally seeking another player, and from there anyone can randomly join your game.
That's cool. That's cool. I mean,
and apparently I did test this with Dana, and when I joined the game, nothing notified her that I joined her game. So in theory, the way it would work is you're just playing, and next thing you know, all of a sudden you just see someone like flying towards you or whatever.
How is this is going to sound weird, but the ship controls, because I thought like people were complaining because when you flew down to a planet, you couldn't really control the ship, and then when you it didn't really feel like you were actually just leaving the planet. It was just like a mini cutscene.
So they fixed. It's not like a mini cutscene anymore, and planets really do look more. Their surface looks more accurate from space than it did before. So when you're flying down from a planet, you're seeing like terrain. It's not. It does generate things as you get closer, but the overall terrain layout is accurate from space. In terms of just like overall like flying around, you can now fly at pretty much it's free in terms of like when you're on the surface wherever you can fly into arches now. I've seen people fly into caves.
Okay, so it's not like, because wasn't it before it was like you
yeah.
could stop like, I'm gonna say like
so you can like pick where you want to land and stuff.
Yeah, you can pick where you want to land. You can build anywhere you want on a planet. in terms of building, it's like I said, it was going to be last week, but it works really well. It's kind of like Fallout system a little bit, where you just have different panels and they snap to each other.
But that's like not the main point of the game, right? Because I thought it was always pushing forward onto the next system, because ultimately the goal is to get to the center, correct?
So yes and no. It's way more expanded now in terms of that, in the sense that there's a lot of different things. Like, the goal is kind of up to the player, and a lot of games say that or whatever, and a lot of people say that, but you kind of really choose the things you want to do and don't want to do. Some people just like play the game and play with their buddy and just like build a base, and their entire point is just to build a base and build a farm, and that's the game for them. Other people are going to sit there and like rush the main story, which there's like 2 main stories, and also there's things that happen as a result of that I don't want to spoil that are really fucking cool.
Okay.
Getting to the center means something now beyond like before in the game. I can't really spoil.
I know what
something.
happened when
It just reset you, right?
Yeah. There's a YouTuber named Joseph Anderson.
Yeah.
Who I really enjoy. He makes really great content, but he had this video of him basically losing his fucking mind trying to get to the center of the universe of No Man's Sky, because he did not like that game at all when it launched. And then he gets to the center and he flips the fuck out because all it did is reset him back.
So I know what happens at the center, and it's way fucking cooler now.
Sick. Well, I'm glad that they added something. Sorry for hitting that desk real quick.
I would say it's more than a decent game. And okay, so that was all the positives that I can
Let's
think
hear
of.
the negatives.
Bugs.
I heard there's a save killing bug.
I heard it already got fixed.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, so I'm been following it very closely.
When I say I heard, I read it on Reddit that it already got fixed.
The save breaking bug, the ones that have been made or like are most in the public view or whatever, have been fixed. I'm on the experimental branch on Steam.
Okay.
So I'm getting the updates as quickly as they happen, because I run into a lot of shit that a lot of other people aren't running into because I played so fucking much. So yeah, there's just bugs all over the place. It's kind of hard to recommend this game at this today / last week,
really?
Because of it. It's almost an inevitability that you're going to run into bugs if you like push this game really hard. Basically, the final bug I've been playing the last 2 days because of it is I can't progress and I can't finish the story.
That's a big bug.
Yeah, I'm on the last mission of the story and I can't finish it.
It's all right. I mean, this is gonna sound dumb, but whenever those situations arise, I'm always like, okay, am I dumb or is it actually a bug? You know
so I mean, every time I ran into a bug, the first thing I did was get on the No Man's Sky Reddit and confirm that other people were experiencing it.
So you confirm that this is a bug.
Yeah, but to be fair, to get to the point where I'm at in the story is going to take you like 40 plus hours. And also, it's not like my entire save is bricked or anything. I just have to wait on a patch, which they're aware of it. No, it's still shitty.
Yeah.
It's still really shitty. And I mean, I was pissed about it, and I still am pissed about it. I'm somewhat more lenient on it because they are constantly updating it. Like for every day last week following release, and then including today when I woke up, they didn't work over the weekend. That's fine.
Isn't it like it's still a really small studio? It's like just him.
It's like 15 people.
Yo, you remember that game Cube World?
Yeah.
Like, goddamn, what happened to those people?
They just died out.
There was just like that dude and his wife.
Yeah. They've been pushing updates every day, which is what I'm trying to say. They went from 1.5 to 1.51 the next day to 1.52 the next day, and then they have mini hot fixes. Like every 3 or 4 hours, they're rolling out with more fixes. They're fixing it.
Any game, it's excuse me, it's impossible to not have bugs in.
Also,
especially like a very open. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but like a very open game, procedurally generated thing. It's just like it's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. So I'm accepting of it. Also, there are things in this game you can do that I've never seen done in like other games. Like I got a capital ship, right? Which
Okay.
it's fucking cool. Anyway, you can build a base almost freeform style in your capital ship. And inside my capital ship, I just have a giant room with like this farm that's producing circuit boards for me so I can make money. Like I've never seen that type of free form building inside like a ship, which is really fucking cool.
Yeah.
And then also like you can collect frigates which you add to your fleet that kind of follow your capital ship around, send them off in missions, and you can follow them in real time. They'll go do the mission. If they get damaged, you can call them back. They'll come back to the solar system where you're at, like physically come back. Then you can go fly to them and land on them and fix them, like individual parts on it. So it's just like crazy ambitious stuff like that. When I compare it to a game like Elite Dangerous, which had like all they've done that's been really appealing to me in that game is you can land on barren rock planets and that's it. And then I look at No Man's Sky, I'm like, they're trying to do so much ambitious shit here. I don't care about the bugs.
So
Even if it makes the game unplayable, as long as they fix it in a decent amount of time, I don't care about the bugs.
So overall, if I were looking to pick up No Man's Sky, would you recommend I pay $60 for it?
I don't know if the sale's still going.
Keep in mind, Monster Hunter World is coming out on the 9th, and that's
Sure.
also $60.
If all the bugs were fixed, I could easily recommend the $60 because I've put 50 hours or 41 hours, I think, into my current save file, which I started shortly before Next came out. And if it wasn't for the bug that stopped me, I see myself putting another 50 to 60 hours in this game. So
Still.
yeah.
Okay.
So I totally recommend it if the bugs were fixed, and in its current state, I don't know if the sale's still going, but I'd recommend it for the 30 it was at on Steam for as it is now.
Okay, so you would say
30 for the current like kind of buggy version, and then if they iron all the bugs out over the next week, then I think $60 is worth it.
Okay, that's
But
cool.
if you're gonna buy it today for $60, I wouldn't recommend it.
Okay. I don't know if I'm necessarily the kind of guy that'll enjoy that style of game.
But you enjoyed Subnautica, right?
Yeah, but Subnautica to me wasn't. It wasn't like going out and exploring was part of it, but it was the terror I felt being afraid of like open water and shit, and
Sure.
like like monsters or whatever. So it was just like that's what kept me playing. That's what it would be like. Oh, I really want to go over there, but something screamed over there, and that shit sounded terrifying.
Sure. I mean, I guess if the most of the enjoyment you got out of Subnautica was like the horror elements out of that's the thing you enjoy the most, then maybe No Man's Sky wouldn't be as appealing.
Yeah.
But there are definitely moments in No Man's Sky that invoke that same feeling.
Another reason I wouldn't like it, and this is purely personal, I'm not a huge fan of exploration-based things with procedurally generated worlds. Just
Sure.
because even though you have infinitely more content than something that isn't procedurally generated, it's in my mind not as good content.
So I agree with you, except for the rare cases where the procedural generation spits out something real interesting, which, your first thing is like, I'm never going to see anything interesting. Like, what are the chances of me seeing anything interesting?
Right.
But Hello Games also released a Galactic Atlas on their website that started recording planets players have visited that are like extra special, or where the procedural generation did something real crazy. Like one was a cave planet where the entire planet's a cave. Like you fly in the atmosphere and the first thing you see is just rock, and you have to like dig through the rock, and there's an entire like world inside the cave. Anyway, so things like that where procedural generation does something really great, if you look up the location for it and then go seek it out yourself, then you kind of get that quality like content still.
Yeah, I don't think No Man's Sky could be done with like
No.
somebody going through. It had to be procedurally generated. I'm just saying, like, as a personal thing, there's way more interesting spots that an artist or a designer can actually create, as opposed to like a computer system.
And you're right, and I'm not disagreeing.
pros and
with
cons.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I just think No Man's Sky is interesting in that there is the possibility for you to find something truly unique in the game. Whereas in a game where everything is handcrafted, I think that opportunity exists way less. Whereas in No Man's Sky, I could find a fucking planet that's fucking just the most wild fucking shit you can imagine, post it to Reddit, like, I discovered something truly unique, and that can happen for the entire game's lifespan.
Cool.
So, I think that's cool. But,
Cool. I guess moving off No Man's Sky,
yeah.
I have a confession. I've been playing Runescape. Now listen, right? It's a dark time for me, but it's also a fantastic game, and I fucking love it, dude. Like,
you're playing on mobile?
I'm playing on mobile, and then I'll play on PC occasionally. It's not, there's certain times when I put it on my main monitor and it's the main game that I'm playing. But I mean, like, simple shit, because ultimately, RuneScape is a game about grinding, right?
Yeah.
A lot of grinding.
I know I should love it.
I mean, well, maybe I can change your mind here. But the main con to RuneScape for me is graphics, right? Obviously. But because I played it as a child and I grew up with it, you know, I'm looking at it through rose-colored glasses. But what I like about grinding is you have to specialize essentially because it's so much time invested.
Sure.
That it's kind of like, you know, you either specialize and you feel really attached to your character, or, you know, you bot your fucking shit.
Botting, I assume, isn't legal, or is it?
No, I mean, it's not, but I mean, I know the majority of people will do it.
Sure.
There's, like, stuff in place to kind of counteract it, but you can still get hit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's weird that I would come back to a game that's so old and, like, I feel it's shit-talked so frequently because, A, they haven't stopped updating even the old... I'm playing the old school RuneScape, right? So... There's RuneScape 3, which is out, but it's, from what I understand, not great and riddled with microtransactions. Excuse me. But this old school variety is not. Every new addition to old school is voted on by the players. So there will be like a poll box in every like bank station. It'll be like, hey, should we add, you know, XYZ to the game? And then it'll be like yes or no, and you can vote, which I think is really cool. And keeps the game player focused. I feel like they'll be able to run into issues if it's like half the player base doesn't want it and the other half does want it. But I don't know if that's ever happened. But I don't know, man. Something about coming into a game where I've played it and I've learned about it before, right? But now, like, I'll see somebody in the bank or whatever. I'm like, what the fuck is that guy wearing?
Yeah.
Like, what is he doing?
Is there any transmog in the game or like ability to change your appearance outside of what you're wearing?
I don't think so.
That's fucking awesome if that's true.
Yeah, I don't think you can change your transmog at all. Yeah, no. Definitely isn't.
Is there
because a big portion of that game is like looking at something like PvP wise, right? The combat, all right, graphics and combat are the two worst things in my opinion. The combat gets better when you get higher up and things start having special attacks and whatever. And
combat is essentially just right click and watch, right?
Correct.
Which I'm fine. That's fine. Whatever.
But there's a little more intricacies into it. But you'll like look at somebody and be like, that guy's wearing X, X, Y, Y, and Z, Z, right? So you're like, his strength level must be this level. Okay. God damn, I'm getting too far into it. But you'll look at his shit and be like, you can kind of guesstimate where his stats are. And now a big portion of PvP is, if you don't know, you level up in that game, or your character level levels up by increasing like 7 different stats, right?
Okay.
7 different skills.
Is there... Okay, so there's a 7 skill... You can master 7 skills and no more than that?
No. That just increases your combat level.
Okay.
Right? So there's 7 skills that increase your combat level. There's overall like 26 skills.
But not all combat skills. Okay.
And now the problem is you want to keep your combat level low, but maximize your effective skills.
Okay.
So you get into this weird like PvP build shit where it's like, okay, I'm level 40, but I have like fucking 70 range.
What if you want to play RuneScape but you don't like PvP that much?
You can absolutely still do that. There's no downside to.
Is there any forced PvP or is it?
There's an area called the Wildy, which is basically open loot for the most part. You'll keep your 3 most rare things unless you've attacked another player, then you'll drop everything, I think. I could be wrong.
Okay.
But the main problem in the wildy, or not problem, it's like it's a filter. So when you're close to the safe space, you like hop over a ditch. When you're close to that ditch, you can only attack people within like 1 player level of you, right?
Okay.
But you go all the way to the end of the wildy, suddenly I'm level 40, a level 90 can attack me.
Are there rewards out there that justify
Yes.
the risk? Okay.
Just last night I was out in the level 40 wildy farming berries, and then I would go back and put them in my bank, and I died, right? But it's like because I didn't have any expensive shit on me,
Yeah.
right? So it's not like that big of a deal.
Okay.
But I mean, just like a couple runs of that, and I got 300k, which before that I had 8.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm okay with it.
Interesting.
But yeah, so the PvP aspect and keeping your overall combat level low is only for PvP builds, because you want to be in a certain bracket where you can attack other players, and not if you're too high, then you get into like main territory, which is like, oh, I have 99 in attack and strength and defense and all that, which is also still fine and probably best if you want to like make a character you don't want to have to like specialize.
So you get these combat skills. Does every player generally also develop crafting skills? Is that like an inherent part of the game, or do some people just like ignore the crafting elements?
You can ignore the crafting if you want. I mean, it depends.
Could you make enough gold through
Yeah.
combat alone
Yeah.
to like?
Yes.
Okay.
There's certain things though. Also in the wildy, because I was farming shit, right? People would come along and kill me and take the shit that I had just gotten. So now it's their shit. They
Yeah.
can sell it, right? And like it's not hard to kill me because I don't have.
And you're also probably not going out there with much gear, right?
Exactly. So
Yeah.
when they hit, they fucking hit. But there's other areas where you can farm out monsters.
How big is the game world?
Fucking big.
Okay.
Um,
Like how much is like of the game world is the wild or whatever you're calling it?
It's not a huge amount. There's specific points where you can. I think there's like more player killing or whatever. There's also entire worlds that are just player kill worlds.
Are there higher end dungeons or?
Yeah, so there's certain bosses or like things that you can, if you can farm out efficiently, and it'll drop like some rare shit. I guess what I most like about that game is you see somebody with it's called like a god sword, and you're like, damn, that motherfucker's about to swing on me. But also, if he dies with that shit, it's like 50 mil.
Yeah.
Which it's probably more than that, but it's crazy, and I don't know, I really fucking enjoy it for some reason.
Is the grind infinite, or do you hit a point where you are like complete?
You could hit a point where you're complete, because skills cap out at 99, right?
Okay.
But it takes a long time to get there. You'll hit like 1 to 50 is relatively fast.
Yeah.
50 to 99 just keeps on getting worse and worse. You know, it'll start like, oh, it's taken an hour to level up the skill. Now it's taken 3 hours. You know.
Okay, and probably my last question is there premium in this?
Yes.
Okay.
So, membership costs $10.99, which sucks because it used to cost $5, right?
Yeah, I mean.
But back then there was a lot less in the game, so it costs like $11. I'm just gonna say, and then also, A, it's fucking worth it.
Yeah.
But B, you can play the game and have fun as being free to play, right? Like there's
what are like the premium benefits? Is it just like extra XP, extra gold? Blah,
no,
blah, blah?
it's like a whole like you. Let's just say I'm making a circle with my hands. This is free to play.
Yeah.
Right? Membership is like fucking gigantic. It's like you're free to play is you're accessing the base world, like they haven't updated it at all.
Yeah.
Membership is like, okay, suddenly they've updated the world like forever, and you
But
can go.
but is there like XP bonuses?
No.
No.
I don't
It's
think
just
so.
it gives you access
Well,
to areas and that's it.
Yeah, there's access to area quests, items. I guess there is XP bonuses in the sense where you get access to better places to farm.
Okay.
But there's no like flat out, hey, you gain 15% XP.
Is there any way to boost graphics on desktop, like in terms of external mods or?
I have no idea.
Okay.
It's possible, but like I said, graphics to me are just like. You know.
It looked fine on your phone when I was looking at you play on your
that's
phone, but
the
then
other
when I know in the past when I've played it on desktop all blown up, it's looked like hot garbage. And normally I don't fucking care about graphics in games, but like it doesn't even have like an appealing aesthetic to me. So it just has nothing. Like I might as well just be playing a text-based game based on my memory of it playing it on a desktop.
It's definitely dated.
Yeah.
Right. There's no arguing
Which I'm
with
usually
that.
fine with.
I don't think the graphics are that terrible. I mean, they're bad, but it's like you can definitely tell when something's newer or like a newer edition.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm specializing in ranged right now.
Yeah.
And one of the things is you can shoot like dragon arrows, which they turn into like dragon heads when they hit the thing, and it looks like a dragon head.
Yeah.
So it's not like that bad as to where you wouldn't be able to know what it is. That being said, I did see a mammoth in the wild the other day, and it looked like I designed that mammoth. Like it was
nice.
It was awful.
Yeah.
So it's definitely hit or miss.
See, I mean, I don't care about graphics. I really don't. It's just like, man, that shit was. It looked fine for him though. So.
I mean,
I don't know. Maybe I'll try it. I'll try that and Pokemon Showdown and all these other fucking games.
I fucking like the game's fun just from the aspect of like you just don't know everything that's in the game. You know, there's like so much shit to do, and the quests are actually not just, hey, go here and do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like.
But quests are limited, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's not an infinite quest.
That's how most old MMOs are before WoW, is where you grind is like your main way or like path to progression, and then you'd have a few quest chains where you'd have like 9 quests that all like lead into each other, and then that gives you some like bonus beyond other XP, which I assume how this works.
So the quests, they'll give you like experience. They'll also let you unlock new areas, different like you can unlock different forms of travel. You can unlock better weapons, new gear, but they have requirements to them like, hey, you gotta have 50 crafting if you want to do this quest. So that's another reason. Yeah, Scotty's pulled up the mammoth. That is what I was looking at.
Yeah, see, that's a problem, man. That's
okay, but that is the worst thing I've seen in the game.
That's
so far.
still a little bit of a problem.
It is not great. I don't know.
Maybe I'll boot it up until No Man's Sky next gets fixed. I'm kind of like in between right now.
I mean,
so.
It's just the game that you can have it as your main game if you're doing something intense, right? But if you're just grinding, I mean, you find a good spot where the monsters attack you and you don't have to click anything. You just click once, set your character up, right? You're basically botting.
If you haven't played a lot of Pokemon, Pokemon Showdown's gonna be a little hard.
Great. So I can choose between a game where I can press a button and ignore it, where I could be playing Clicker Heroes, or I could play a game where I know nothing about Pokemon.
But like you're gonna lose a bunch and not know why. That's the
Sure.
The clicker, I mean, okay.
It'd be something I tried for an hour, probably.
Yeah.
If you click it once, you're not going to do it it's not going to be an optimized thing. It's just like you're exchanging XP per hour for comfort.
Okay. Well, that's fair.
Yeah. And also...
So what happens when you just do that, leave it unattended for 24 hours straight?
Because you can't do that. Because, the monsters will stop aggroing you after 10 minutes, so you still have to be there.
You still have
at least
to,
in the
okay.
spot that I'm thinking of, after 10 minutes, the monsters will no longer be aggressive to you, so you have to, like, run out, come back, reset them. Yeah, and I mean, there's also probably better places to farm, but it's just like, it's money, it's all that shit.
Might give it a go. I mean, it's on the cusp of another major release. So.
Oh, yeah. Monster Hunter World. That's what
that's not what I was going to say, but...
What's the next major release?
Sirius's favorite game, Battle for Azeroth.
Serious, have you ever played World of Warcraft?
I played Vanilla WoW for like a week.
Damn. Are you in the boat where it's like, it's too late to get into?
It is too late.
It's not too late.
And I don't
If
think
you don't
I would
want
like
to,
it.
then yeah.
You don't
And
like
I don't
grinds.
want to fucking pay a subscription for any game.
If
Like,
it, since you've never played MMOs in general, I mean, you pay the sub for PSN, right?
Yeah, but that's for every game that I want to
Sure.
play.
Well...
WoW.
And I don't do that nowadays anymore. Like,
Yeah.
just when I was a kid, I played it to play Halo. Like,
Sure. So, subs are worth it for MMOs.
Specific games, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's a game-by-game basis, but in the
not
case
that it's
of WoW,
like worth it. I think it's like, I think that's dumb. Like, it shouldn't be worth it. You should be able to play the game without have sub. And the thing I don't like about these games are that like, you just like I just want to do like PvP. And it seems like in a lot of MMOs, you just lose the people who just know life the game harder than you. Like, that's all.
That know the game better? I mean,
no, that have put more time into the game. That's it.
I think that used to be the case in PvP.
It's not anymore.
Where you farm out, because you would farm out in like a certain amount of points, and then you'd cap on points for that week, and then you buy gear. So if people were just grinding longer, they'd have better gear than you. Now they kind of remove that.
Yeah, so in most MMOs, they've removed gear advantage from PvP, unless you're talking about like some awful Korean MMOs.
I would compare
I
it
just
to...
don't like to grind for like seemingly no reason. Like, I don't know why you grind in WoW.
I don't grind in WoW. What do you mean?
What do you do in WoW? What's the point?
Well, for me personally, I like PvP, right? But I don't grind for it. You don't have to. Not anymore. You used to. It's more knowledge based. But I also really enjoy just getting better gear and doing better in like
better gear
raids.
outside of PvP. Also, like through PvP, you're gonna unlock things like cosmetics. It's like the same as any other game that has any PvP interactions. Like you're doing it for some form of achievement or ranking in the ladder or some cosmetic benefit. In terms of like PvP in WoW, you're not really grinding any more than any other competitive game. I'm not a fan of PvP in WoW.
Also, to me personally, a big part of that game that I enjoy is raids, where it's like, I'm with 9 other people and we're really fucking trying to down this boss and we wipe 20 times, which is a pain in the ass. So if you don't like trying and failing at something, then or not, that's general, but you know what I mean. Like if you don't like wiping on the same boss over and over, it could not be for you. But
that's not what I don't like about it. But also, I don't know. I don't like to play with like strangers. Like I don't like to just meet up with random people.
It just sounds like
okay, let's go
MMOs
do
aren't
this.
for you.
Yeah, I know. I've tried them in the past, and like I don't like a thing I don't like about games in general that have like this like class-based system, like even Overwatch, is that like I don't like the having to make the choice between like playing what I want to play that's fun and playing what is gonna win. You know. Because I have to do this thing if I want to win. Like if I'm playing with my friends, and it's like, well, nobody is healing, so I have to heal. Not that that's what happened. I know that we have friends who like prefer to play support style like
in
characters.
PvP that's relevant in WoW, but in PvE it's less relevant.
That is still relevant. I mean, it's less so like if you're gonna do the hardest raid difficulty, which is called Mythic, and then like you want to do it relatively close to release.
Yeah.
Then it's more relevant where it's like, okay, you should probably have like...
Yeah, because that's the, like if I'm playing, like, Pokemon, right? If I want to play on Showdown, like, you have to play the most OP, like, top-tier shit. You have to play meta shit.
Yeah.
But I can still play the regular Pokemon game and play with literally any trash-tier Pokemon I want and have fun playing through the game.
I mean, you're still, like, you can still run any spec and do decent. It's
that's
just
what I mean.
You'll do less, if...
You'll do less damage to other people, but you'll still do enough damage to like clear the encounter, even on the hardest difficulty. The hardest difficulty generally involves 25 players, and it's fine to bring any one of. You don't want to bring 5 of each class or whatever, but it's fine. There's always gonna be a spot for that one asshole or whatever that plays like elemental shaman or whatever.
Damn.
Like there's always going to be like the room for that type of class to come.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a difference of like if top player is doing 1,000,000 DPS, you might be doing 925.
And in terms of the subscription fee, it's necessary and better. It's the best it can be, essentially. It's the only way they can keep pumping out regular content updates and also afford servers that hold that many players without microtransactions. It's either it's all cosmetic.
Well, they have the WoW token.
They have the WoW token.
Blizzard makes like more than $1 billion a year.
They
don't need.
They will lose money though. They will not be making as much money as they need.
They're a corporation.
If World of Warcraft released today, it would not have a sub fee.
Yeah, it might not, but then you could have said the same for Final Fantasy 14, and that because that came out more recently.
Deserves it. They update like with new content like way more than.
Well, it's all relative. Some people,
it's not.
People would say WoW deserves it as well.
Enough.
But I mean, it's either in an MMO you have a sub fee, which in theory an MMO is something you're playing daily, and it's worth it in that sense. And anyone that does play daily, it's definitely worth it. Or you have a cash shop. And if you have a cash shop, like, fuck that. I will take the sub fee over the cash shop every single time. Like, that's why when he mentions...
That's the other thing, too. That I feel like if I'm paying for the game like a monthly subscription. I feel like I need to play it.
Sure,
Yeah,
and that's
You know?
and
So I
that's
got to get my money's worth. I'm paying for all this shit. I got to play the game every day. You know, like you have to play the game every day. I have to do these dailies. At least I have to do this minimum little bit. Like
ideally you want to, but yeah.
Yeah, you want to, but it's also like I feel like I get punished because like my friends all do it and then I'm behind and the game's not as fun because I'm just chilling and they do all the work and I get experience. I'm not playing the game. I'm just following my friends around the world. Like
you have to play a minute if you're trying to keep up with a specific group of people. You have to play a certain amount. That just depends on also what the goals of your group of people are. If the most people want to do is normal raids, you don't really have to play that much to keep up.
I don't like to play MMOs alone. Like it's not that fun playing it by myself. Like when you have to like go and like do grinding shit on your own, it's just like what's the fucking point?
Well, or with random people, which you said you don't like, but if you join like random groups, normally it's just going to be through text chat. And if you enjoy random groups through raiding, then normally you just join their Discord and you don't talk, you just listen. So it's not terrible because I don't like playing with random people either. Unless it's like solely text based, then I really don't give a fuck. Or as long as they're not expecting me to really speak. And raids, you just have to listen, and they don't want you talking anyway because they're trying to give out like orders and stuff. So it's like,
yeah. I also, I mean, this is purely subjective, but I met some really cool people playing WoW.
I'm sure there are some cool people. That's not like
it's like that. You bond over the fact that like you're in this raid and you guys are getting fucked up. So it's just like at a certain point, you know, the raid can either fall apart and everyone can get mad at each other, or you guys just like, you know, start joking around and being like, "Fuck."
I mean, that's cool when it like naturally flows. It's like meeting anybody. That's just like a personal thing
Yeah,
that
no,
I feel. But like,
sure.
I'd like so like a thing that like bothers me personally is when like people like somebody that like I kind of know, like maybe somebody from work, will like make a joke to me. And it's like not funny.
Yeah.
And then just in my mind, I'm just like, why would you tell me this shitty joke and force me to have to like perform for you? Be like, oh, ha, ha, good one, Mike.
Dude.
Like, and it's just like, fuck, just don't say anything to me. Just leave me alone.
Jesus.
I don't want to perform for you.
That's how I feel about like Christmas and birthdays, where it's like, oh, I actually do enjoy this present, but it's like I'm not gonna get that overly excited about it. It's like, thank you.
Yeah,
you know,
man.
Yeah, and I don't want to do that to people like fucking people online, like with their online humor too. Like when your idea of humor is to just like reference movies, you know,
And
like you just say
memes and
lines from shit, or you just say like "Big on thought," and then everyone laughs, and it's like hilarious, dude. Like original creative ideas.
I've been playing a lot of Squad as I do. I almost like pass under 50 hours in it. I fucking love the community in that game. If anyone tries to do that shit anytime, you have squads at 8 or 9 people, there's going to be one guy that's just like, shut the fuck up.
Hell yeah,
like
dude.
without fail. Like,
you know, that's one of the things I like about like at least like the real fighting game community, not like the Twitter fighting game community, is that like it's older because it has like this arcade culture where it's just like, oh, you're whining about some shit, why don't you shut your fucking mouth? No one cares.
Mill sims.
Do you win at the game? That's the only thing that matters.
I think you've mentioned this before. Not on the podcast, but fighting games, to me, the community is like these are adults that have lives. You know, it's not only fighting games. You know, like in a lot of other games, it's like, oh yeah, all I do is play League of Legends, right?
Yeah.
Which is, you know, fine, but it's like in fighting, it's like, yeah, you're a person. You know, you have interests outside of fighting games. I don't know.
I think mill sims are somewhat similar, if not just more niche, where you are like dealing with older people and also people that want to play the game seriously because like it's a serious genre to an extent. Like you're not gonna play a mill sim unless you kind of have some like interest in it to some
I can just only I can't get into mill sims because it's just like in high school, that's just what I imagined those JROTC kids.
That's
sure. I think I've said it before. I think Squad is a fun outlier where
if you're in JROTC and you're listening to this podcast, not you, but that other weird guy, you know who I'm talking about.
No, if you're in JROTC, get out.
Squad is a good resting place between Arma and Battlefield. I think it's like that perfect in between spot where like I would recommend it to anyone.
That's sick.
Yeah.
So Battle for Azeroth is coming out.
What do you know about it? I don't know much about it.
I know that they trimmed all the fucking classes to shit, apparently.
Oh, great. I can't wait. I try to ignore WoW because, like, I don't want to play it as I was
explaining. Don't play it. I don't understand. We were talking about this
earlier.
You
don't fucking, like, it's MMOs, man. Like, even when you don't want to play it, a part of you deep inside just, like, wants to experience that initial launch hype and and see what it is.
I mean, that's
and
fair. I can understand that.
especially based on a game that, I played when I was 11. Like, there's just, like, an innate desire to, like, know and play it, even though I know the eventual outcome is just going to be frustration because of how picky I am.
We've played a decent amount of games together. Every single time, you will launch it, right, and then play to an extreme amount.
Yes.
And then burn yourself out.
Yeah.
So it's like, why are you gonna spend $50 plus the 15, so $65 to get into this game that you'll play for a month, and then stop playing?
I mean, spending $65 and playing for like a month of extreme playing is like worth it, though, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't sound like you have fun when you play.
I do until I hit things that like inevitably frustrate me, but that's just because I've played so many fucking MMOs. And with Legion, it was the Mythic plus RNG. Yeah. Like you did as many Mythic plus dungeons as you could every day, hoping for a 0.05% chance of getting Titan Forged gear, so you could get 0.1% DPS increase.
You were in a smaller subset of people that were into Mythic rating.
Yeah, correct.
You weren't even. It wasn't even like, oh, I'm doing heroic rating. You were doing Mythic.
Yeah,
rating.
well, I did normal and I did heroic.
Mythic rating near the beginning of the X-Pack, so like every 0.1% of shit.
Yeah,
really matters.
And I did enjoy that. I did not enjoy that the main way of getting that 0.1% was infinitely repeatable dungeons, that if you failed, you didn't even get anything. Like if you failed Mythic Plus, and I know they changed it later on, but if you failed Mythic Plus at the beginning of Legion, you don't get a fucking chest. And I was like, well, so I just wasted an hour and a half to 2 hours to get nothing. But I think they improved that, so I don't expect I'll run into the same issues.
Did you not get a chest? I thought it was always like you got
the chest.
No,
I mean like if you couldn't kill the boss or whatever.
Oh.
There'd be times where I joined like pugs and we were doing like +9 at the time, and then we just wiped and people left and like there was no chest, and there was like one dungeon that took like an hour and a half and everyone quit, and I was like, well, I guess that's it, and this is like the main way that I'm supposed to gear. This isn't fun.
On the flip side, I did Mythic Pluses almost exclusively with friends.
Yeah.
And they were a extreme amount of fun.
Yeah.
I really liked pushing, like doing the dungeon base and being like, wow, this is hard. And then you gear up and you're like, well, this is easy, but now it's not because it's +9.
So maybe this time will be better because I'm in a position where like my hours are more free and flexible and I can play whenever I want compared to when I used to not be able to play whenever I want, and I can play more dungeons with you guys, and I'll have a better, more positive experience with Mythic Plus. Also, I think they fixed it later on, and also people just got better at running them.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I really enjoyed that aspect. I think it was the best thing in Legion.
Sure, I think as a concept, it was great all the way up until a certain threshold that I just so happened to hit because I play games like a fucking moron. And not for fun.
Like you min-max everything for no reason.
It's because that's like enjoyable for me. That is my fun.
But you min-max the fun out of it. All right, we're not gonna get into this.
Dude,
I mean, you've never, not to excuse Matt's.
Yeah, don't excuse me.
But I have like gone into a game and like worried about like, am I wasting my time putting like points into these stats?
Yes.
Should I look up a guide? And then it's like, oh well, now I just have the best build on the first playthrough, and it's like not that tough, and it's not as fun.
I am usually a min-maxer, right?
Yeah.
But there is a point when it's like, you can spend 50 hours to get a 1% DPS increase, where I'm just like, fuck that.
Yeah.
Like, I am in the aspect of like, I will do, unless it's like I'm just doing it passively because I'm enjoying what I'm doing, I will not go out of my way to min-max the fun out of a game. Like, if I'm grinding and it's like, well, this isn't fun, I'm not going to do it.
So, I mean, like, ideally, when you're min-maxing, though, or theory crafting or whatever, it's not like time equals power necessarily. It's, oh, if I hit this percentage of critical strike or spell critical strike mixed with like this mastery, then I'm hitting an optimal level. That's not like playing for 50 hours to get a 1% increase. That's just like either doing number crunching yourself or researching some theory crafting that's been done, and then like that's like why I'm into Path of Exile. It's like there is like, also if you play for 50 hours, you're going to get a lot more than 1% increase.
Yeah,
anyway.
I was exaggerating.
Yeah, sure, but there are games where I feel like that. Like Guild Wars 2, I think, is like that, where you do play a shit ton of time to get like Ascendant gear or whatever, and you get a 1% increase.
I mean,
I'm not into that, but
for example, I healed in Legion, and I really enjoy healing PvE. And I was doing Mythic Pluses, and I was like, damn, I really suck at druid healing. So
Yeah.
I like what was enjoyable, and I guess you could consider it min-maxing, as I was like looking up all this shit about druids. So it's like, okay, when 3 seconds on rejuvenation had left, you should reapply it because you'll get 2 dot stacks instead of 1. So I mean, in that aspect, I can see min-maxing, but it wasn't like, it was just reading, and it wasn't like.
Sure, it's
Right.
it's reading, it's learning, it's adjusting your playstyle and your character to things other people have done. It's discovering things yourself. Like, that's the thing that gives me the most fun, which is why I play games the way I do. Because that's like my favorite part of games. I also like coding though, so that's not like that's not terribly surprising. That's where I draw the most fun from.
All right,
But what's new in Battle of Azeroth?
Oh Jesus! All right, see, this is the thing.
When is it coming out?
The 14th,
13th in America.
13th.
For the first time ever, they're releasing at midnight worldwide, and I think they're starting with whatever country hits midnight first, which I think is Australia. Don't quote me on that.
No, it's some island further.
Maybe that doesn't
I think
count.
Australia's one of the last ones.
I don't know. Whatever country they're basing
No,
off
maybe
of.
Australia is the first.
Huh? It'll be cool. I don't know. So they're adding.
August 13th at 6 p.m. for North America.
Right. They're doing war mode, right? Which is like world PvP.
Yeah, you toggle it and you get like some bonuses. Right?
I'm not gonna be the best at this because there's some stuff that I haven't even.
Sure, I know very little
Obviously,
about
new
it.
dungeons, new raids. You got that Azerite armor now, or whatever the fuck.
What is that?
So you know how you had your weapons, artifact weapons?
Yeah.
They got rid of those.
Okay.
Now it's armor, which apparently has skills on it for your character or your class.
Uh-huh.
And then there's something called like islands.
What
or
happens
whatever.
to like raid sets and shit when you just have
Yeah,
like legendary armor? Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, and then there's the islands with like they're supposed to be kind of procedurally
It's like
generated.
randomly generated shit, which I don't know. I like small scale, 5 to 7 player adventures. You know what I mean?
I like it. I don't like the PvP aspect of it, but
I mean,
I'm just not into
you
WoW
played
PvP.
Albion with us, right?
Yeah.
Did you like Hellrifts? Because that was like the main fun of that game.
they were okay.
Oh my god. Okay, whatever.
I don't care about MMO PvP. It's not for me. In terms of like MMO PvP, I'd always rather play like something that was not an MMO, essentially.
Fucking Tekken set PvP.
Sure, like fighting games, Rocket League. Like if I want to engage in competition with another player, I'd rather play like a completely like dedicated competitive game opposed to like having a hotbar and like playing MMO combat with. That's just not
Yeah.
for me. Yeah. Unless it's a weird situation where it's something like Eve or something like that, where you have like 1,000-player battles. There's some like context to it beyond like your individual like combat with another player. There's something at stake, something like that.
Yeah. So I guess that's kind of all I know. Like new shit. Like obviously the new dungeons and raids and like.
See, that's kind of like all I know as well, and none of it seems as like with Legion. It was like Mythic Plus, right? Like that's fucking cool, and it was like legendary weapons and like all this shit. And then I look at Battle for Azeroth. I'm like, your main selling feature is procedurally generated islands.
I didn't think that was their main selling feature. I thought it was like everyone's describing it as a PvP expansion, which to a person who you said doesn't like PvP,
Yeah.
probably isn't going to be great. But for me, who I love PvP, that's like one of the like I still will look at WoW PvP and be like, damn, I want to play that.
Fucking no. Why would they make a PvP expansion?
Because it's Battle for Azeroth, dude.
People
Horde
like-
versus Alliance, man. Whose side are you on, Matt?
I mean, that was great in 2004, but when I look at WoW and think about like the WoW player base in general, no one's really like clinging on to PvP that hard. Like even the Mythic Plus invitational stuff they did got better views on Twitch than their PvP.
It was surprisingly interesting.
Yeah, but that still did better than their PvP stuff. And I never meet anyone that's like, I mean, other than you guys generally, because you're all MMO PvP people, but most people I speak to that play WoW are not like, I love WoW PvP. Like, this is my primary activity in the game.
Yeah, it's got a lot of fucking problems, and like my primary activity is still PvE. Right?
Yeah.
But I enjoy the PvP. I don't know. I think it'll be cool.
Also, PvP servers, like, no one even when you ran into people in PvP servers, they never attacked you anymore. World PvP was just dead.
This is kind of like a weird complaint. We're wrapping up here, but like the lore is like, hey, Horde versus Alliance, but like the Horde leader is so like comically like evil, where it's just like,
I thought the Horde were the good guys.
no. Well, I mean, everyone's supposed
bad
to be
or gray. Everyone's gray.
It's supposed to be a Game of
that's
Thrones
stupid.
kind of shit, but it's like the Horde is like so comically like I want to use this to kill people. Where it's just like, okay, like where's the writing, Blizz? Like, come on, like don't.
The writing's been trashed at Blizzard for a while.
They just jumped the shark a lot. Like I think it started with Warlords of Draenor.
I played like the Warcraft like RTSs, and the stories in those games were good.
Yeah, they were. Fucking, I liked Waddle K.
I think the Wrath of the Lich King story was good, but then Vanilla WoW has almost no story, and then Burning Crusade had very little story.
Yeah.
But
all right, well, I guess moving on from WoW. Anything else you want to talk about, Matt?
Nah, not really. I'm gonna go play well, I don't know if I'll play more No Man's Sky next till they fix it, but I plan to. I'm also gonna be playing Grim Dawn and more Squad, because Squad is continuing to be fun.
You got anything you want to say, Serious?
I'm gonna try and finish Okami, play Neo.
We'll talk about Neo
Nice.
next week.
I'm excited for Neo.
I want to hear more about Neo.
I'm gonna go play RuneScape. Oh, real quick, I beat Enter the Gungeon.
Oh yeah.
It was
Congrats.
really good.
How many hours to beat it?
I don't know, honestly, because a lot of
Estimate.
10.
Okay.
15
Oh, that's
maybe.
not that much.
I assume you're gonna say like 50. I don't know how long
Yeah,
it
I
takes.
thought
Yeah,
it'd take a
God,
lot
no,
more.
not that long. I'm also a fucking God gamer, so you know.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
I was about to flex, and I was like, I don't have anything here. But no, I really enjoyed it, and there's a lot of replayability, and once you like master a boss fight, it's really fucking fun. That new update really brought life into the game because it's like I don't feel bad for using guns anymore. I like playing the game for the reason it's supposed to be played.
I'd pick it up on sale. You should try Nuclear Throne. I want to see. I think that it's harder,
Okay,
but I haven't played Into the Gungeon as much. I played it a little bit, but I think Nuclear Throne is harder.
cool.
I don't want roguelites to be harder. I just like, I mean...
Did you ever beat Isaac? Because that's probably the easiest one to me.
I got close, or I did beat it. One of the two. I think I got really far in Isaac, because that's back when I had a PS4, way back in the day.
Way back.
When you first play Nuclear Throne, like you die on every level.
Yeah, see, I don't really want that. Like, I don't enjoy starting over.
Well, Nuclear Throne's really fast because there's like
Yeah.
a fixed number of enemies on every like board, I guess you can call it.
Yeah.
And once you kill them all, then a new portal opens to go to the next one. So it's as fast as you are.
Cool. I think that does it.
All right.
And we completed another one, episode 26.
Another one
down.
in the books.
We need to find out when we uploaded the first one and have like a yearly thing. I don't know what we're gonna do. We should toss some ideas around.
Don't think about it.
Best games of all time.
We could do that,
That
but we'd
seems
have to
weird.
get. I think we should get really drunk and do this, like the year thing.
That's fine. I can do that.
That could be fucking garbage.
All right, that's gonna do it. If you want to give us a follow us on Twitter at Casually Toxic. Email us your questions at casuallytoxicquestions@gmail.com. It's not a mouthful. I think that's it.
I think that's it too.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.